Hello, everyone. Hello, how are you tonight? I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, and this is Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. As you are joining me tonight, if you could tell me hello, that would be great because Facebook has changed how we do the live feeds again. And so I want to make sure the comments are working. I do have my phone on standby, however, so I can see if people are making comments from there if I need to. So anyway, as you are joining me, just say hello. That would be wonderful, just so I know this is working. But tonight, let me tell you, we are going to be talking about living the impossible. But before we get to that, I do want to mention that Lilydale is opening this Friday. Isn't that exciting? So we are going to open this Friday. And oh, yes, thank you, Samia. Thank you, Lori. So nice to see that people are there because, Facebook, they love to mess with me. So thank you so much for joining me. So, as I said, we are going to be talking about living the impossible. But before we get to that, we have other things to talk about. So, this is a Lilydale radio show. The name of the show is called Embracing Your Essence. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, a registered medium here at Lilydale. And I'm also a certified intuitive life coach. And I help people live their dreams, basically. And hello, everybody. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Dana. Hi, Mick. Hi, Ray. Nice to see you. Hi, Darlene. Yes, life is fun, isn't it? So, as I said, we are going to be talking about living the impossible. But before I get to that, I do want to talk about Lilydale opening up this Friday. So it looks to be a fairly normal season. As I understand it, and I'll give you everything I know, the Monday night circles are not going to happen in June or July, but will be reevaluated at the end of July for August, possibly. The Healing Temple, same situation. They will not be doing live healing services. They will still be on Facebook, so you can watch them there and participate that way. I understand they're going to be reevaluating that as well. Let's see. The stores are open. Both stores are open. We have the cafeteria is coming back under new chef, I understand, and the pagoda is now going to be called the Sunflower, and we'll have the people who ran that running the pagoda slash Sunflower. The coffee shop, I heard, this is not factual, I heard is going to open on July 3rd and then close something like August 24th or something before they go back to Belgium. So we will have food here, yes. The workshops are in person and some are online as well. So check online, lilydaleassembly.org for the workshops. You can find out which ones are online, which ones are both, which ones are just in person, etc. And you can see everything that's happening there. The official Facebook Lilydale page is Lilydale Assembly Incorporated, and a lot of the events are posted in there now. So that's all I know, I think, about the summer season. I do know that I have many days that are actually fully booked this season already. So I'm assuming a lot of people, because we can finally leave our houses, are coming to Lilydale and we're going to have fun. Oh, one more thing. I did see that we're supposed to wear masks inside buildings. That's the only thing I know as of now. It may change tomorrow. I don't know. So anyway, hello. So I've told you everything I know about Lilydale, and we are going to be opening in a couple of days. So I'm going to be teaching 3 workshops this summer. I'm going to be teaching techniques to amplify healing energy on July 11th. That is in person only because we're doing healing. And the second one is, which one? Hold on. The Empowered Empath on July 29th. We are going to talk about being an empath and how sometimes empaths attract narcissists. So we will talk about that a little bit. And then in August, I'll be doing The Courageous Soul, talking about you being in your power as your true self. So you can follow me on my Facebook page, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach, and you can get more information about what's happening in my life for you, the things I'm doing for you, on my website as well, ColleenVanderzijden.com, or a quick link, LilydaleMediumColleen.com works as well. My book, is coming out in the fall, like for real. It really is. So it's coming out in the fall, and so if you follow me on Facebook or sign up for my mailing list, you'll get updates and all that stuff as we go. So there, that's enough of telling everybody everything. You keep cutting out. I don't know if it's me, Denise, because I'm totally plugged into my router. So hopefully it's not me. So we are going to be talking about living the impossible. So have you ever had a dream where it feels impossible to achieve? That you dream, maybe something like you dream of owning a beautiful house and you just can't seem to get there, or getting this ideal job, and even if you've made effort and the dream sometimes still doesn't happen and it might feel like it's impossible. Or another dream that so many people have is finding their partner. You might say something along the lines of, it's impossible, I've tried, but all the good ones are taken. Or sometimes people will say, I do want a partner, but I'm tired of trying, so I'm giving up. But it's just too hard, I'm going to give up. Maybe life has gotten to you. And I've met many people the past few weeks who are struggling, as we're coming out of COVID, plus everything else that's just been happening. Life has been a little strange the past couple of years. And so a lot of people are finding that they're tired or anxious or depressed. And some people are starting to feel like it's impossible to change that. So we are going to talk about creating the impossible, how we can live the impossible. Now, this all comes from last week. I wasn't here. And I wasn't here last week because I was in Las Vegas. I have never been to Las Vegas, but my partner loves Las Vegas, so we had to go. I had a great time. Very different energy, of course. If you haven't been there, you know a little bit about it. Very different. I had to prepare myself energetically because it's Las Vegas. But I had a good time. But what happened while we were there is we went to see the magician David Copperfield. Now, the name of his show was Live the Impossible, and I have appropriated for tonight. And the reason I did that is because watching what was happening during this show was really quite stunning. At one point, he came into the audience and he was standing right in front of me, like 2 feet away from me. And he brought a person down and made that person disappear right there. 3 feet away from me was where that person was standing, and I could not tell how that happened. It looked impossible. Like, how did this man end up getting on stage? Then he also had another trick where a real car, appeared on stage on top of pillars over people who were standing there, which also was impossible. It was really quite stunning. And then later on, he had a 30-foot flying saucer appear out of nowhere, flying, literally flying. It wasn't attached to anything, flying over the audience and then flew up onto the stage. It was crazy. And then for the very last act, he had a very tall dinosaur appear in an empty box, and it was roaring and moving and all of this stuff. So it was really kind of cool watching this magic show. David Copperfield is one of the best magicians of all time, apparently. I don't know much about magicians, but I'm learning. And when we watch a magic show, there's always so much wonder and awe there. And these things seem to magically appear or disappear. And they defy our logical brains. We can't figure it out. How does this happen? We can't see how it happens at all. And these things that I saw in this show and in other magic shows, they seem impossible, but yet they happened. Now, a magician knows how to do these tricks, right? That's his job or her job. They know how to do these tricks. They have this goal, they practice it, and they work their magic to create them. We don't know, as an audience, what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know what happens beyond our physical perceptions. In so many ways, this is just like life. We have a dream, we have a goal, and usually our dreams and goals are physical, right? Because we live in the physical. And it seems impossible. Sometimes we have these dreams, we want them, and they just seem impossible for whatever reason. We may not know how to get there, and we try to take action steps in the physical, creating physical situations to make things happen. And then sometimes even when we do that, our dreams don't work. So what is happening there? Or maybe we have a dream and people are squashing it, that people are trying to squash it, that it's impossible, they say. They say to you, it's never going to succeed. And you wonder about that. And you say to yourself, this seems impossible. And people are telling you it's impossible. And you start to take it to heart and you doubt yourself. Now, Baba Yaga is saying my video is stopping too. Hold on. I'm going to make sure nobody else in the house has video going. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm going to just text to make sure that nothing bad is happening here. Because if somebody else is using the video sometimes, or using the internet, it could be an issue. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Hold on. Make sure you're not using the internet. Might interfere. There we go. There we go. Just in case. Generally, I don't have problems with my internet when I'm doing my show, but you never know. Sometimes things shift, right? So, anyway, as we were talking about, sometimes you might have a dream and somebody tells you it's impossible. Okay. And you start to take it to heart and then you doubt yourself, right? Or maybe you simply do feel unfulfilled, believing it's impossible to feel better physically, mentally, or emotionally. And I want to shift this thinking. I want to get us away from this. So, what I want you to think about for a minute here is to think about a situation in your life in the past where the impossible happened. Go back and look at your life. And if you do, you might find that there was a time where you thought something was impossible and could never happen, but yet it did. And I would love to hear those stories. So as you're thinking about that and you want to jot them in the comments, that'd be great. Hi, Monica. I'm glad it's good for you. Yeah, who knows? Internet, God knows. But anyway, so for me, I had a couple of things that I thought were impossible. Well, there's several things, but I'm going to talk about two. There were two things that I thought were impossible. One, I wanted children, right? So I was trying to get pregnant for years, just for years. And it just didn't work. We were trying all these medical things and it wasn't happening. And then one day I was surprisingly pregnant. Very strange. Medically, it shouldn't have happened, but it did. During that time, as I wanted the kids, of course, we ended up adopting my son. And I thought that was impossible too, because as we were going through the infertility in these years, we started exploring other options, and one of them was adoption. So there are lots of different ways you can go about adopting children. So we were doing all of that stuff, and it just wasn't working. You know, years literally went by. And then one day, it actually did work, and we found a child to adopt. Those, those were two situations in my life that I thought were impossible. As you're going through your life now, are you thinking of some things that you thought would be impossible, but yet they came, they happened, they worked? So with this, what we thought was once impossible becomes possible. And that means that whatever is impossible in your life now isn't impossible, because we have some further proof that some of those things in your past that we thought weren't going to happen did happen, and they were impossible. And if we can remember that, that can help us get out of that mindset of impossibility. So how does the impossible happen? It's like something magically shifts behind the scenes, just like the magician. Something shifting back there. We do get focused on our dreams in the physical, right? Which are important because we live in the physical. And that's part of what makes our lives meaningful, having those physical goals and dreams. So we do think about the next steps, where we want to go, what we want to do, how to get there. We might Google searching for advice or answers. We make plans and all that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with having those action steps and plans. And actually, they're essential if you're going to create the impossible and live the impossible. But having all that physical stuff there, we have to be sure we're not missing a key component. And what we might be missing is what happens behind the scenes, that magic. And that magical part behind the scenes is our energetic connection to a limitless state of mind. If we can touch into this feeling of that infinite state of mind and truly step into it, then nothing is impossible. With that comes an open mind where we know we're connected to the abundance of the universe. So when we're connected to that limitless state of mind, we're connected to the abundance of the universe. Baba Yaga is saying, very paradoxical, but it seems like you get what you want when you stop wanting it so bad. Yes, there is actually a law out there called the backwards law that comes from, Buddhist maybe, I might be wrong, where the more you want something, the more you don't get it. It like automatically goes the other way. The reason for this is if we want something really badly, we tend to grasp at it and we tend to be attached to it, wanting that one thing to the exclusion of everything else. So we have to be aware and keep that open mind. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and how to move out of that state of grasping and attachment. We are going to talk about that. So this key component about that energetic connection to the limitless state of mind. And there is limitless abundance. That means it's ours. Okay, in my book, Courageously You, I talk about magical mind games, which is what I'm talking about all the time with you guys. And what these are shifts in perspective to help you embrace your power and create the life you want to have, right? And I call them magical because they seem to magically shift our minds. And once we get into that state, it magically can shift our external lives as well because we're changing our energy and opening up to something else. We're reconnecting to our soul and that universal energy. And when we do that, we're creating that limitless life of the meaning and the joy. All of that, these internal shifts and that energy happen behind the scenes. And behind the scenes, what I mean is it's not something you can physically see. It's something that's happening in your mind, in your head, in your energy. You can't see it, so it's happening behind the scenes. These internal shifts seem to magically transform the physical life. We can make the impossible happen. And they magically, it's kind of like, I was talking about David Copperfield. He could change stuff because he knew how to do it. He knew what he needed to do to give us that illusion of the impossible happening, right? And for us, we have this illusion that the impossible can't happen. But if we can get rid of that, moving into that energetic, limitless mindset, then we can create that magic. One of my favorite magical mind games is Dream Big. And I talked a little bit about that today in my weekly intention email. So we started sending out an intention email on every Tuesday, Intention Tuesday, we call it. And so today I talked a little bit about dreaming big and what that means. So when you think about your dream, what is your dream? What's the first thing that comes to mind? And then what I always say, and I just love this phrase, and I know I've said it before, and I know some of you saw it in my spiritual growth group, but I'm going to say it again because it's a great phrase for opening your mind. If you knew you would succeed, what would you do? Anything you want. If you knew you were going to succeed, what would you do? It opens my mind to the possibilities, and I feel free and limitless because if you know you're going to succeed, then there's not going to be any problems. You don't have to worry about things. It's going to happen because you want it. So we have to open up for this. Now I'm just going to check the comments for 2 seconds. Let's see. Similar situation, went through 8 years of infertility. 2 weeks after my due date, I had a sonogram and had a terrible report. Who said our daughter would be stillborn. She was born 3 weeks later, a perfect 10. I bet you that was like, did you not feel like the most amazing wonder and awe with that? And like a miracle, right? That's so awesome. This could not be explained because how she was born so healthy and is. I love that story. Now that's an impossible story. That's beautiful. Tom is saying the universe isn't limited by imagination, by my imagination. I am living the impossible. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. Me too. I can't tell you how many days. Every day, pretty much, I look around and I'm like, I have the most amazing life. I would never have thought I would be in this place. If you'd asked me or told me this 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I would have said, you're crazy, but now I know. And part of it is shifting that mindset and getting into that state of allowing the universe to be there for us. It's something, isn't it? Oh, it's miraculous. I think about all the things that ended up working out for me. Then I think about my future goals that seem so complicated. I tell myself to have faith and be content. It will all work out. Yes, Allison, it will. Because it's worked in the past, hasn't it? So many times. And that's not to say we don't have dreams sometimes that don't come to fruition. But, I'm going to talk about that too. But, yes, things usually have a way of working out. And for those of you, and there's always somebody out there who's going, but no, I didn't get this, and it ruined my life. I'm inviting you to open your mind to a new way of looking at things. Maybe it didn't ruin your life. Maybe it led you to something else. Maybe it strengthened your character. Maybe it strengthened your sense of self-worth. We all have crappy things that are going to happen in our lives, but we don't have to stay stuck in the pain and the suffering of it. Okay? So, what we're going to do, we're going to continue on. Yes, definitely a miracle. Oh, what a great story. When I got pregnant, I definitely thought that was a miracle too. Like, and where did that come from? I mean, it was amazing. So, lots of times to create this, we have to open our minds to the possibility that what we want can happen, which is what we're talking about. And I know it's hard sometimes if you haven't had success and that dream seems out of reach. But imagine, just imagine in our limited imagination, right? What, what if you got your dream? Or what if you got something even better than your dream? Something beyond your current ability to comprehend. What if? Wouldn't that be something? So lots of times we set an intention for a dream and we'll describe what we want, right? And then we'll frequently add or something better. In the metaphysical world, we understand the energetic component is vital. That energetic component is opening ourselves up. We recognize that it's helpful to specify the details of what we want. And I'm sure many of you have heard, if you're going to set a goal, an intention, a manifestation goal, to be as specific as possible, which is great. But we also have to understand the value of keeping it open to allow the universe to bring us what we truly need. Okay, we're giving up that control. We're surrendering and allowing the universe to bring it to us. Sometimes we think we know best, don't we? No, this is what I want. I really want this. I have to have it. And we think that what we want is most important. What happens then is we might get into tunnel vision, where we're focused solely on that physical manifestation of your dream. And we get so tunnel visioned that we might miss a better opportunity that may come because your current dream isn't happening, or you get your current dream and it leads you to something even better. Okay, something better than you can imagine. To create that magic and live the impossible, we have to trust the universe is going to be there for us and guide us. This is truly the essence of the behind the scenes magic, that we're trusting. We learn to trust that everything is in perfect order and is leading us to where we need to go. And that might mean sometimes we let go of a dream so we can have a new one that may be better than we could have possibly imagined. Now, have you ever had the experience where you got much more than you imagined? Okay. You met an amazing partner who was beyond what you could have even thought about. Or maybe you had your mind set on a certain house and you didn't get it and you wanted it so badly and you were so sad and so upset. But then later, a much better house came along and you bought that house instead. And you think, wow, I'm so lucky that last thing didn't happen. So you got much better, because much better, bad sentence, whatever, because the universe was there helping you. Sometimes we don't achieve those dreams. Or we do, and they're not what we hoped they would be. I still remember one client who was so excited. She'd applied for this perfect job. It was just amazing. It had everything she wanted. She was qualified. She went for the interview. It was really positive. It was great. She was so excited. They called her up and offered her the job. She was just beyond herself with joy. And 2 weeks later, she called me up, all upset. She had already quit her job, and then she got there at this perfect job, and they had lied to her. What the job was described as wasn't at all what the job was. So she got her dream, and it wasn't a good dream after all, because it wasn't what she had expected. So sometimes when we don't get our dream, there's a reason for it. But with all of that being said, if we keep working towards our dreams and our goals, just taking some little steps and staying true to ourselves, we will invariably be led to something better. I believe that with all my heart. So we don't want to focus on our failed dreams, because what's happening when we do that, right? We're focusing on being limited. Okay, it didn't work because of this or this or this. We want to focus on being limitless in our abundance. And I'm actually at the end, I'll give you a few statements to say to yourself if you ever catch yourself in limiting statements, talking about the impossible or something not being able to be achieved and those things. So, thinking something is impossible is a state of mind. Obviously, it's going to limit you, right? But if you open your mind even more to the belief that this could be wrong, then you'll be opening a whole new gateway to a whole new reality where you have more meaning and joy than you could possibly imagine. It can be hard for us to change our minds. You know, we have this belief stuck in our head that life is a certain way, or we can't do this, which means impossible, right? I can't do this. I can't here. That's an impossible statement. And it's hard for us to change our mind and recognize that maybe that belief isn't correct, that it's not accurate, that's not a true reflection of you or your universal limitless abundance. So open your mind a little bit more to even recognizing that maybe what you believe to be true is not right. It's not true. Once you do that, you kind of crack that open a little bit, the universe will help you take care of the rest. We'll just like blast that thing right open for you. So it will show you that things can come to you that you can't imagine. Now, a quick way, I'm going to actually check the comments for a second. If you're just joining us, I'm Colleen Vander Zyden. I always forget to repeat my name throughout, and I'm a medium at Lilydale, and I'm talking about living the impossible. Woohoo! I didn't think in a million years I could find love again after a nasty divorce. I am now in a relationship I didn't think was possible. The universe is amazing as soon as you let go of how you thought it was supposed to be. And along that line, I just wrote this in my book the other day, unless my editor takes it out. But what we're really doing is we're letting go of who we think we should be, who we've been trained to be, who we've been brought up to be. For whatever reasons, we're letting go of who we think we should be and becoming who we truly are. When we think we're a certain way, that's when we're stuck in limits. That's when we're stuck believing things can't get better. But when we become who we truly are, that's back in limitless abundance again. It's amazing. And I know so many times people who have had endings to relationships that were nasty or very challenging or whatever, even losses, where your partner passes, and we think we'll never find somebody to love again. And if we do, sometimes it's funny, I'll hear people joking about this, and I've done this in the past myself, was like, oh, I don't want to change my life up to fit somebody else in it, But once you find the right one, then it's okay, it's fine. And you can find the right one. I know sometimes we all say, but all the good ones are taken, all of that. I'm going to check Mick's comment here. Every failure is an opportunity to learn and grow, to get better at what we're attempting to do. It's all good. Exactly. Once you shift into being who you really, truly are, to the best of your abilities, of course, right? Because we're all continuing to grow and learn every day. I'm still learning things every day. I make stupid mistakes and I have to relearn something, but I love when I do things like this and make a mistake or do something that gets myself trapped in something, because then I can use it as a teaching opportunity, and I love self-growth. So if we start to recognize that everything that's happening to you is there for your benefit, every single thing is there for your benefit, then you can recognize every single thing as a stepping stone to achieving the impossible, what we used to call the impossible. Now we don't call it that anymore because you can get there. It's possible. It's probable. You can do it. So a quick way to discover if you have a limiting belief, because we do, and sometimes it's hard to tell. So we have to be open and curious about ourselves. No judgment there for yourself or anybody else. Everybody's learning and growing in their own pace. Is ask yourself, what your dream is, and then think about why hasn't it happened? Because what you'll find is when you say, I want this, it's usually followed by but. Okay. I want a new house, but I don't have the money. I want the perfect partner, but all the good ones are taken. How many times have we heard that? I want to be an actor, just picking a random one here. I want to be an actor, but I don't know how, or but I don't want to move. Okay. And sometimes people think, of course, if you're going to be an actor, you've got to go to Los Angeles or New York City. No. And said, what happens when we do this? I want whatever, but, and here's my excuse, my reason why I can't have it. What happens when we do that is we're focusing on lack. We are focusing on what we don't have. We're focusing on no money, no partner, no knowledge, whatever it is. We're focusing on that. If we really want to create the impossible, we want to release those limiting beliefs, to let them go, to transform them, to look at them and find out maybe where they came from. Why do you believe this? Being curious, never judging yourself. But where did it come from? Why do you think that's true? And then figure out, is it true? Okay, if it's true and it's a limiting belief, is it true that you don't have the money, or is it true that you don't think you're going to get the money, for buying a house or whatever it is? So you have to explore it a little bit. And if they're stopping you from moving forward and creating that life you want, achieving the dreams and the goals, whether it's getting something in the physical or simply feeling better, more optimistic, more positive, you have to let it go or transform it, figure it out, and move on from it. So if you didn't have any money, you wanted to buy a house, whatever it is, you don't have money. So you start saving a little bit at a time. Because once you take a little small action step, the universe will meet you and help you. Okay. My son likes to say that he likes to buy a house, but he cannot save his money for as far as I can ever tell. I don't see him ever saving any money. So it kind of comes through and he goes, well, I can't buy a house because I don't have any money saved. And I'm going, okay, so why don't you have any money saved? Well, I don't have enough. I said, are you sure you don't have enough? Because I know you have enough. And so it depends on how the belief is affecting you. So you start a little bit at a time, the rest will come. Once you start seeing the money building up, it's easier to keep it set aside. Even if you really don't have much money, it doesn't take much to find a little bit of money and set it aside. Same thing with finding a partner. I can guarantee you not all the good ones are taken. Okay, that's an amazing limiting belief. So you want to be an actor. Okay, there's community theater all over the place. You can be an actor pretty much anywhere. As long as you're willing to go learn your parts, whatever. You can do it. So what we want to do is we have to expand our vision. We have to look beyond that tunnel vision where we're focusing on our lack, believing we can't, whatever, or that our dream won't happen because whatever excuse or limiting belief we have there. That's all an illusion, total illusion. There is no lack. Abundance is everywhere. The universe is limitless. You are a part of the universe, so you are limitless, which means everything you want is there for you. All the abundance you want is there for you. I know it can be hard to believe this if you're not getting things you need or want. I know it's hard to believe. Chip away at it. Chip away at it. Don't worry. It will shift as long as you keep chipping away at it. I will give you a couple sentences in a few minutes to help you. If you have a dream or a goal and you really want it, then it's not impossible. Sometimes people will say, well, I want to be a movie star, but they don't really want it. Because if they really wanted it, they would be thinking about how to get there. They would be doing community theater or whatever. They would be doing something towards it. Sometimes people think to set an intention of something we want, all we have to do is just say, well, I want to be a movie star and it's going to come to me magically. No, it's not. Because you have to really have that energetic component where you really want it. That's important. If you want it, it will come to you. It's just the way it is. It's a fact. It's a law. There you go. Okay. If you want it, it will come. So what you have to do, though, on top of that is you've got to do that one small action step. Okay. You've got to take action. So you're connecting with your dream, your goal. You've got the energetic component going. You're trusting the universe to bring it to you. You're trusting that there's limitless abundance for you. So you've got to do your part in it. So take that one small action step towards your dream. But always remember to be open for something better beyond your imagination. And as you're doing this, you're surrendering and letting the behind the scenes energy work for you. And that's where the magic starts happening. It will just happen. If your dream isn't coming in your timing, now so many times we have a dream or a goal. And of course, right, we were taught when we do goals to make them specific, measurable, actionable. I can't remember the other one. And then time, set a time, a deadline, when it's going to happen by. The problem is, in our humanness, sometimes our timing is not what is best for us. So if it's not coming in your timing and you're getting upset about that, that means you're not trusting the universe to guide you. You still take action, you still move towards your dream, but you're going to trust. My dream of writing the book started over 20 years ago. My daughter's 25, and she says I've been talking about it as long as she can remember. So it's going to be quite a shocker for her when it actually comes out. Yay me. My dream started so long ago, over 20 years ago, and it's taken a really long time to get to this point. I had to go through a lot of my limiting beliefs. I also had to figure out exactly what my message was that I wanted to share. And I trust now, I understand it better now after all this time, of course, that it was perfect. This is in perfect divine order for me to get my message out there now when it would be most helpful to you and everybody else who might be interested in reading it. Living the impossible means we live in that limitless state of mind. We're in that energy of abundance. We are in that flow of trusting the universe to guide us. Checking the comments. Baba Yaga, I'm a good one and I'm not taken. And I can attest to that. You are a good one. And don't worry, the right one will come exactly when the timing is right. It will. As you told me to stay in my previous job, it would work itself out and the money and way to be would come. And it has, only to let go and believe. I know, it's so simple, isn't it? Let go, believe, and trust. But it's hard because we're humans. But we keep trying. We keep going for it. We keep going for it. We all sometimes see ourselves as prisoners in a cell, not realizing that the whole time we've had the keys. Good one, Mick. Yes, that is so true. And it's Wizard of Oz, right? Click your heels 3 times. It was always right there, right in front of you. Yeah, the answers. We always say the answers are within. And that doesn't mean we don't get guidance. That doesn't mean we don't get a teacher or take a workshop or Google or whatever to get some guidance to help us move forward on our steps. And it can be very helpful for that. But the true answers are within you. And a good teacher is going to help you find your own answers, right? So you can be your authentic, amazing, courageous self. It's amazing. So let's see. Hold on. Hi, Samantha. Nice to see you. Oh, Joanna, thank you. I'm glad I've given you courage. That is, I guess, is kind of my goal, isn't it? Trying to give people courage to be themselves. Step outside of that box, step outside of that cell, as Mick calls it. Step outside of that and be brave enough to be yourself. Be brave enough to trust, even if everything around you says, that's impossible, you can't do it. Even if people are beating you up, criticizing you, judging you, even that, can you be brave and courageous enough to stand in your power and say, nope, I'm sticking with myself. I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust the universe. I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to believe in the universe. You do that, you will get where you're going. Okay, now here's some words, some phrases you can use. Anytime you catch yourself saying that something is impossible or you can't, or you catch yourself complaining because something isn't working in your timing, or it's not working the way you want it to, or whatever it is, we want to choose to let go of that belief. Whatever's blocking your way, you're just going to go, you know what, that's not working for me anymore. Set it aside. And then you want to shift your internal narrative. And you could shift it to things like this. Here, I've got 3 here for you, and maybe more if, spirits let me know more. You could say something like, I am limitless and deserve everything I want. When you think about that, I am limitless and deserve everything I want. How do you feel? Do you feel that expansion in your energetic field? Do you feel like, yes, and it gives you some confidence. Yes, you deserve this. You can have it. Whatever you want. I deserve everything I want. I am limitless. You're claiming it. I am is now in the present. You're claiming that power. You're claiming that idea. I am limitless and deserve everything I want. Or you could say, I am limitless and trust the abundance of the universe. That might be easier for some people to say, or grab you more, it's whatever grabs you. So I am limitless and trust the abundance of the universe. My variation on the limitless and one of my favorite quotes, intentions, I am limitless and surrender to more abundance than I could possibly imagine. I am limitless and surrender to more abundance than I can possibly imagine. wow. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me go like this. And I feel like I want to create some more things, which no, I don't have time right now. But that's what it makes me feel like. I want to do more. I want to create more. Part of this too is it opens us up even further. Our energetic bodies merge with the universal energy. It merges with that limitless abundance. And when we do that, that's part of the reason why we feel expansive when we think like this, when we shift our mindset like this, because we're literally merging with it. And when we merge with it, our energy is bigger. It's huge. You could meditate on something like this. I am limitless. I mean, if you want to just keep it at that, I am limitless. That will get you in that flow and feel it. Whenever we say an intention or an affirmation, we want to feel the energy. How would you feel if you're limitless? You would feel amazing, confident. You would feel like you can do anything because you can, right? So you've created the impossible in the past. You've had situations in the past where things that you thought you couldn't do or things that didn't work the way you thought they were going to, but for some reason you got through them, past them, around them, created things. You've done it in the past. So open your mind up to that limitless nature and then just keep trusting that universe to guide you. If all you have to do is take simple action, all you have to do is take the action. You don't have to. Sometimes people think, especially if they're on a spiritual path, that they need to be perfect. You know, I need to be more centered. I need to be more grounded. I need to be more spiritual, whatever that means. I need this first before I can achieve that. Or sometimes what too may happen is that you may bump up against that horrible self-belief that many of us have, that we're not good enough. I'm not good enough to have everything I want. I'm not good enough to live the impossible. That is the ultimate limiting belief. If you become aware of it, and once you become aware of it, you can set it aside and say, you know what, that's not right. Because if you look back at your life, you'll find lots of times you were good enough and achieved and succeeded. So obviously, it's a false belief. So you can find more of those things that will help you move past that. Okay, so I think I have talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Let me see what time is. Oh, not too bad. Amazing. So think about some of these ideas. And I think what we'll probably do is we will, maybe we'll write up, Ashley, if you're still listening, we can write up those last few comments and maybe make them posts and put them on my page or wherever and get them out there. Guess not. I'll just listen. I don't know what that means. Oh, well, anyway, let me know. I had Jeremy. Oh, okay. I missed comments from you. That's why I don't know what's going on. Are my comments not seen? There they are. They weren't coming in. That's what's going on. Hold on. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Jeez, I don't know. Yeah, I weren't seeing them. Sorry, I wasn't seeing them. They just literally came in now. Sometimes what we want isn't in this world. Like me, I want a sign or message from Jeremy, who's in heaven. This might be the time. What's happening is you're probably grasping at that, and I know I've had many coaching or mediumship clients who want that sign, and it's what we talked about a little bit earlier about the backwards law. The more we want something, the more it's not going to happen. Okay, so if we are so focused on wanting that sign from the other side, even if we got it, we might not recognize it because it's not what we expect, or it's not done in the way we want it to be done, or we might doubt it, okay? So I would suggest to consider trusting that he's there, because I can tell you 100% he is there. There's no doubt in my mind. I know that. So trust that he's there. Trust that he's well aware of what's going on in your life. Trust that he still loves you, because I know he does. Trust that, and let go of wanting this sign. Let go of wanting it. I know it's hard to do. That means you have to surrender. It does not mean you're giving up. It doesn't mean that you don't believe he's there in heaven, or you don't believe he's around you. It means you're just going to stop grasping at wanting a sign Instead, you're just going to trust he's there and he knows everything. You keep continuing to talk to him as you do. Keep talking to him. Tell him about your day. Tell him about your life. He knows you want a sign. He's probably given you 25 of them, but for whatever reason, we just aren't aware of them. Okay? Spirit will always get through in one way or another. That I believe 100% as well. Spirit will always get through. Okay? So I suggest thinking about some of those things that I just said. I know there's a lot. I got to look at your other comment here. It takes a long time to get past grief, right? Especially if you're talking about your partner. So even though it feels impossible to move on, you will move on. You will integrate this. And if you have to get professional help or whatever, that is fine too. You will move on, and you know that. And I can tell you, and I've said this many times before, that Spirit always wants us to live our best lives and be happy. They always want us to be happy. They don't want us stuck in pain and feeling that suffering. They don't want us there. They want us happy. They want us living our best lives. Okay, so maybe that will help too and help us move on. Okay, I see now it says that destroyed you. It took 27 months for you to be ready, but I now feel he is at peace, proud, and happy with all I've done. Oh, he is totally. I can tell you that. He is totally. The thing is, not to move into reading land for a moment here, because, tricky area, right? But with him, he says you've always been very strong. He says you've always believed you had to rely on him, that you've had to count on him to keep you strong. But he says no. He says you've always been strong and you just didn't see it in yourself. He says he knew that this is something you could handle. He knows that you can do this. And so as he's talking about that, apparently I'm talking to him right now. As he's talking about that, he says, there have been some shifts you've had to make. You've had to let go of certain people and all of that. And that's fine. He says you've also been finding new people who are there for you. Okay. So he does give you lots of love with that. Okay. Apparently I digressed into a reading for just a moment, but that's what happens when you're talking to a medium. Sometimes those things happen. Okay. So I'm moving on and already doing it. Thank you. You are buffering a lot tonight. Spirit's playing. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. It's so interesting. I am limitless. Love it. Yes. Okay. So now what's going to happen is Lilydale is starting, and it is highly likely I will be on hiatus and will not be doing my radio shows through the summer. I tried last summer, remember, when I thought the summer was going to be lighter, and I think I only did 2 all summer because it was just pretty heavy. So it is highly unlikely I will be doing shows. So I will return in September. I may on occasion do some Facebook Lives, however, if something strikes me and I want to share something with you. They will not be at this time probably, but whenever I get so moved to do so. So I may do some Facebook Lives. So of course, stay connected to me on my page and we will go from there. So thank you so much for watching tonight. I am so happy to have connected with you. And let's see. So follow me on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach. That way you'll be sure to catch everything. My website, ColleenVanderzijden.com, or LilydaleMediumColleen.com works as well. So many things work to get you there. And sign up for my mailing list and all of that stuff, especially because my book is coming out and I will be sending out special notices on that as the summer goes. Let's see. I think that is all. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you the next time I see you. You guys have a wonderful summer, and if I do see you in the physical in the summertime, do not be offended if I don't know who you are right away. Just tell me your name, and I'm really good at remembering names, not faces, because I'm talking to spirit so much. So if you do see me this summer, please stop and say hello to me. You see me on the street or someplace, say hello. I would love to physically meet you, especially after last year where I didn't get to see a lot of people. So just tell me who you are and I would love to see you. So you guys have a great summer, and I will see you next time. Bye.